All right, time for our daily quick cap here, and we're going to be looking at Microsoft. That is ticker symbol MSFT. This one turned out to be a pretty decent trade. Came up on the scanners right here, the end of this day. That's when we began looking at it. And when I first clicked on this, the first thing we always do is we look left. And looking left, really all we can, for start, is just put our cursor right there, and then we can look at our horizontal cursor where that line is. And we got a little bit over here, but that was so long ago that it was, I viewed it at this point, especially after all this times that we've broken through it. And yes, it did bounce back up. But it wasn't that level wasn't holding as solid as maybe like this level right there. That would have been a really good one, which we would have had to break to or get right at it to trigger, but it was just too close. So I didn't see anything that really gave me conviction as far as horizontal support or resistance. Excuse me, we're looking for resistance here because this was a bearish play. And that kind of should maybe give you a little bit of an idea of how picky I am when it comes to picking these trades and trying to make sure that I'm picking really good, really high quality setups. Is yes, we had a little bit of support here, a little bit of resistance there. We have some resistance here, and if we look over right, let's see, where was that look right in there? So you see it's right at it with the trigger price, which we'll zoom in and it'll become clear in just a second, but it was right at it. Wasn't enough for me to really look at it any further. However, the main thing, and that really gave me really high conviction, was this long-term downtrend right there. This price came up and it hit a very major trend line. And just based on that, we had a beautiful, this was a mountain to river setup. I don't think I said it earlier. We were getting overextended, as we can look at the RSI down here. It was getting overextended. It was a mountain to river setup, and it was price moved into a major trend line. So I felt really good about this trade after seeing that trend line. And from there, it was just setting up the trade plan. So let's zoom in, and we'll get into that. So again, there was the signal, and for us to enter this trade, what we needed to see was price break 275.84. So I would have said that 275.84 was our trigger, but what that means is that's what we need to see break. So up here, I would have needed to see 275.83 print. That's what I would have wanted to see up here. That will let me know that the candle itself has broken through our trigger price. And that's when we would enter, and we would set our stop and trade, or depending on your exit strategy, we could go from there. Now everything up to that point, or up through the entry, is given to you in the war room for all the members. If you are a member with Armor Trading Systems, either a standard or a premium member, you have access to what is known as the War Room, where we go over our trade plans each and every morning. We decide what exactly we want to do and how we want to trade it, and all that's given to you. All you have to do is decide where you want to take profit at. The technical analysis is given to you. The entry is given to you. The stop that I recommend, it's not what you have to use, but the stop that I recommend is given to you. All you have to do is decide where you want to exit. So let's look at that real quick. Now for this one, we always do in these videos, we always go over 3 different exit strategies. These are not the only exit strategies you have to use. These are just 3 to give you an idea, maybe lay a foundation for you and give you some ideas of what type of exit strategy you prefer and what type fits your personality. Now, the first one we'll go over is to exiting into previous support or resistance. Now, in this case, it would have been, we would have wanted to exit into previous support, simply because if it's moving up, that's not how you want to take profit, and we've got our stop set. We're already ready for that. So we were looking to exit into previous support. Now, for me, what I always try to do, and I think I mentioned this maybe even in yesterday's video, when it comes to finding levels to take profit at, I try to find ones that are nearer, ones that are closer, rather than ones that are, way back here. Um, that's what I prefer to do. However, on this one, there really wasn't a lot, maybe a little bit right there. But it was that whole area was kind of iffy. Now you'll see where I ended up recommending it was very close to that, but it wasn't because of that. That's kind of choppy looking and stuff. So I looked farther left, and we get this level. Where's it at? Where was it? That one. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Right in. Man, I'm right there. Okay. So it was the low of this open right here. It was just because of everything that was going on right here. I could tell that this whole area right here was good. Now, the reason why I ended up choosing this one over this pivot right here was simply because of where it crossed through everything else. And I'll draw it in just so you see. I won't spend a lot of time on this. It's just to, you know, I see how well that level right there performed, and I really liked it. Now I don't even know because I didn't trade this way. This is just the level that I recommended. So what was that? We'll be exact. I will be exact because I don't want to mislead anybody. That open, which is what the bottom of that body right there, 272.51, and the low here 270. Okay, so it did. Wow. I did not trade it this way. That's not the exit strategy that I typically use, but that would have basically nailed it. That would have been perfect. Um, the low was 272.38, so it went below that level by, what's that, 13 cents or 14 cents. That would have been a really, really good spot to take profit. So we nailed that one. Called that one pretty good. But again, full disclosure, that's not how I traded it. Kind of wish I would have now, but that's not how I did this one. Anyways, after that, once after that point, that was already kind of so far away, way down here, that after the only other area, then I did jump back close, and it was right down here. And I said, if price were to get all the way down to here, right in that level, the 269.25 area, then yeah, you can take profit there. But it wasn't impossible for it to get there or to that price, but I wasn't expecting it. So the point is, what you need to take from this is that when you are looking to exit or you want to take profit into a previous support or resistance level, just look left. It's not super complicated. Just look left and find a level that appeals to you, that works for you, that fits your eye, that just looks good for you, and just trust it. Go with it. Trust yourself, trust your instincts as a trader, and just go with it. It's not going to work every time. That is a fact of life. That is a fact of trading, that it is not going to work every time. But if you are picking levels based on good, sound technical analysis that you are studying, that you feel comfortable with, that you feel good about, you will grow as a trader because you will then be able to take the good out of it. Whereas if you're sketchy and if you're iffy on it to begin with, you're going to be second guessing yourself no matter what. So be confident in the levels you pick to take profit at, and then learn from it. If it doesn't work, learn from it. Say, all right, that was still a good level. It just didn't get to it, or it didn't work. So that's basically it. Sorry, I'll turn off the preacher there for just a little bit. Let's go into the next one. That is exiting, or once we trigger, you enter the trade, and then you set your stop, which is given to you, or my recommended stop, which is given to you. Set your stop and let it ride throughout the day. You can set your orders to close. You don't even have to be, once you enter, you can leave the computer until the following morning if you wanted to. If you so choose, just set your orders to your stop order and your it's not a limit because I way rather prefer conditional orders, and I have a video on that which is located in the arsenal at armortrades.com. It's our video library. On conditional orders, I got a video on conditional orders. So what I do is, I set an order and I set two orders. They are OCO orders, which means one cancels the other. And one of them says, once price reaches to this level, which is our stop, I want to exit my position. And then the other order says, I want to close out this position today's date at 3:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's how you hold it all day. You protect yourself if you've got things to do because your stop is set. So that's a really good way to just trade sometimes the first few minutes. Sometimes we get triggered in the first minute or two, and you could go ahead and enter and then set your orders and kind of relax and know that if it goes against you, you've already come to peace with how much you're going to lose. And if not, then you're going to be sitting pretty good. So just an idea there. And for an exit, now let's go over scalping. I don't want to make this video too long. Scalping. Oh man, what was that entry? I apologize. I forgot what the trigger was. The trigger was the break of 275.84. So we needed to see 275.83 get broken. Wait, did we have okay, yep. So this opened at 275.99, and I'll be honest, I missed it. That's why I was looking over here at first, if you paid attention to my cursor. So I missed it at first, because I had other stocks that I was watching too. However, so it first triggered in that first minute, really in the first few seconds, and 275.83, which was right in there. First few seconds, I missed it all through here. I was looking at other stocks, and every time it was kind of whippy, first thing in the morning, and I didn't want to get filled, way down here because that's 50 cents lower, and so we want to try to get filled as close to the trigger as possible, if not even a push up, and could have got filled, up here if we wanted to, if we so choose. But anyways, the point is that even though I didn't get filled in these first few minutes, and there were multiple opportunities, I just didn't. You can still try to get filled later in the day as price comes back to that trigger spot, especially if you're not scalping. If you're scalping, it's a little different because sometimes you're wanting that first initial move after the break of the trigger, and you definitely got it here. So scalping 275.83, and then within that same minute, we went from 275.83 all the way to a low of 274.88. So you got almost a point in the same minute. And even if you held, and the worst it ever got was 270. The worst it ever got was about 50 cents against you. And then after that, it just, took off and ended up getting the low of 272.38. Scalping this one would have been fairly, I don't want to say stress-free because of all the whippiness going on here, but scalping it would have worked out great as well. You just got to make sure you've got a good stop set in place, and you're, able to control your risk professionally. And that's what I try to teach at armortrades.com. That's what I try to teach through my Income Genesis course, is controlling your risk like a pro. So again, this trade worked out beautifully for us, and it just shows technical analysis is king. You do good technical analysis, and you can create a really solid trade plan based around that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you again, and God bless.